because I do agree. I'm not saying like everything is great now, by no means. But you asked me about men's mental health, and what I see is the consequences of very problematic parenting styles, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we are not just a generation of crazy people who one day decided to be free. We are people who just felt like the institutions are not um, relatable anymore.
Mm.
That makes sense. Like, it's not like we have lost our faith. Is that it's really hard to relate to church anymore. Like, it's not that we don't believe in good relationships, but perhaps the idea that if you get married and you decide to get divorced, that's a big sin and you're gonna go to hell, is not relatable anymore, right?
Why do you think that is?
Because we have capacity to think and evolve as a
That's the issue.
society. Why is it an issue?
Well, before it worked, as I said, things of that sort, those are called values, morals, regulations, right? Like
Sorry, I'm
following.
going to interrupt you
No,
for
no,
a
no,
second.
please.
What you say it worked?
How large are divorce rates right now?
Yeah, it's like 50% or something. It's yeah,
It's pretty big
yeah, yeah,
compared
yeah.
to what it was maybe 20, 30 years ago.
And again, because before,
The
if you
belief
got
system was
divorced,
stronger.
I mean, I know women in Armenia who were beaten up because they chose to divorce.
But Tigran, women are beaten up even now. That's
True,
besides the point.
true, and it's
But the
being reported
beliefs,
more, and there are
yes,
laws against
yes.
it. And
But the belief system was stronger. Having the belief, you can
okay,
be.
yeah, no, we are getting to a great point, and this is very very important to me, and this is why I have like fundamental differences
Mhm.
in what I think mental health should be about
Sure.
and what it is becoming, right, and what it is the fact that answers are so good to have.
Mm.
We can have answers from the church, from the school, from the freaking DSM, right? We can have answers from our doctor. What answers we can have a diagnosis, right? So what answers do is they stop any possibility of questioning anything. How many times you may have heard it was such a relief to get the diagnosis of ADHD. It was
Yeah.
such a relief of get that right.
Hmm.
Now I know that I can ask for help, or now I know what's going on.
Hmm.
When you think about how we have built our value system or these institutions, these are not institutions that promote questioning.
What institution are we talking about
Well, we are talking
particularly?
about churches,
Religion?
authoritarian governments, right? Like, well, in the communist, government,
Yeah.
there's no religion necessarily, but there is some kind of like very rigid.
Something to follow, right?
I mean, not only to follow, but to not question,
Mm-hmm.
because I can follow my dad, right? But I also can have my differences and we can debate about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can choose to take some things and leave some things. And that's a good guidance. That's a good kind of, let's call it leadership, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I have no um, opportunity to ask myself questions, it's such a peaceful thing. It's such a peaceful mindset because I don't have to think what's right, what's wrong. It's in this book. I don't have to think what do I want in my life because somebody has determined already what a woman should want or what a man should want. I don't have. So when we talk about diagnosis tool, I'm sorry, it's not like I'm distracted. It's my ADHD, right? Uh, okay. Why um, why is so almost pleasant that you have that kind of like the joker card, right? Like, why is it so pleasant to have answers for everything? It saves us from the anxiety of not knowing. I like the fact that, and I think in fact that any therapeutic process should encompass like this moment where we disrupt, we deconstruct any kind of truth that a person could have from about themselves, which creates a lot that's the place where the client is saying, well, I was doing better, now this is like making me feel worse, is the moment where you're starting to unveil these layers of uh, narrative stories, labels
Let's
that
get
they are.
down to the point.